Hey guys, me again, back for another super awesome video. Today's is going to be about how to write a good introduction paragraph. So you guys may remember from yesterday's video that there are really three main things you need to do in an introduction paragraph. The first thing you need to do is hook your reader, then you need to introduce the topic, and then you need to include a thesis statement. And I always like to draw this upside down triangle because it really does show how you start off general and then you progressively get a little bit more specific. So start with the hook and then you introduce the topic, which is essentially the problem. What's the prompt? What are you really supposed to be writing about? And then finally you end with the thesis statement all the way there at the bottom. I find that a lot of kids skip the H part. They just kind of respond to the prompt and then maybe have a semi-okay thesis. If you really just take the time to start thinking a little bit more creatively, you can hook your reader and just get a better score with that. So you should remember that we already have a thesis statement kind of figured out. We did our claim plus our blueprint. So we're arguing that artists should feel free to license their music to advertisers because the rewards far outweigh the risks. So we're 1/3 of the way done. We have a thesis. We just need all the other stuff. So I'm going to color code my introduction paragraph for you, just like I did with the thesis statement. So you can kind of see where my hook is. You can see where I'm going to start introducing a problem gradually to my reader. And then you can see how I include the thesis. All right. So first things first, I have to do the hook. Now, they gave you a lot of different strategies in the previous video for how to do a hook. One of my favorite things to do is to just kind of zoom out from the topic though. So this essay is supposed to be about whether or not musicians should sell their music to advertisers. Well, if you zoom out from that problem, you could just talk about music, you could just talk about advertising. So I think I'm going to talk just about music. So I'm going to say, from a young age, music begins to have a profound impact on our lives. So now I'm going to go on and kind of describe how I feel like it has a profound impact. So as children, think about it. Music helps us remember our ABCs and other foundational skills, right? So ABCs put to a song. I learned the continents to a song, the states in alphabetical order. I learned all this to a song. So I'm just kind of talking about music in general. I go on to say, as adolescents, music becomes the soundtrack for our daily lives, nudging us to discover who we are and what we stand for. So as we get older, music starts to play a more important role in our lives. It starts off just kind of sing-song nursery rhymes, then it becomes more important. I'm still just talking about music in general, so that's the hook. Now the next part is I have to kind of start introducing the problem. This is not an essay about how cool music is, unfortunately. So let's start talking about what the problem might be. So regardless of your taste in music, comma, it is almost impossible to imagine a life without it. So I'm starting to kind of hint to my reader that we're heading in a direction about how music is everywhere, right? My next line is it permeates almost every aspect of our lives, whether we are conscious of it or not. Some people, this is a good phrase to remember for the day of FSA rights. That's a great way to start your introduction of your problem. Some people think that the purity of music needs to be protected. So I'm showing what the other side thinks. They argue that musicians should keep their music with the fans and out of advertisements. Now here comes my thesis. I'm going to add a little part in front of the thesis, which is going to be just an although x comma y thing that I'm going to do. I'm basically going to say, although they think that, I think this other thing. So watch how I do this. I'm going to say, Although these people may consider it selling out, quotation marks, artists should feel free to license their music to advertisers because the rewards far outweigh the risks. So that part should sound familiar. That's our thesis statement that we went over before. So if you look at this thing in its entirety, I kind of use a big font just so it'd be easier to see, but I'm going to make it smaller. So you see that's really not as much writing as you think it is. We have our hook, then we introduce the topic, and then we have a thesis. I promise you, you spend a little bit of time planning your intro, it'll be worth it. See you guys tomorrow.